So when we're talking about building communities, or community building, what are we actually doing? You might say we're building trust in our neighbors so you can give them a key when you go off on holidays. Or you might say we're building friendships so you actually want to shovel your neighbor's walk. You might say we're building a network of trust so you can send your kids out to play in the streets and not worry about it. And these things are all true. But when we get right down to the heart of it, when we get to the root of building community, what we're actually doing is bringing in more love. And when we're talking about building community spaces, we're trying to build a space or create a place that lets that love come in more easily. So this is a project of one initiative that we have of the Haysboro Community Association Playground Committee. So in Haysboro, we're not inner city and we're not suburbia. We're just like the sleepy place in between. And we have a large, but we're on the verge of revitalization. And we have a large elderly population because the Haysboro was built in the 50s and 60s. And all these people have raised their kids and grandkids there. And while they've done that, they've built a real great spirit of love and engagement in our community. And we can see it every day. In Haysboro, kids are still playing on the streets. And for the last 10 years, every time an elderly resident moves out, they're replaced by either a young family or a young couple. And these people are here to stay. So with more kids coming into the neighborhood, we need to increase the play value of what we have.
And when we see those kids on the street, one of the activities they're doing the most of is scooting. Those are the little, it looks like a skateboard with handlebars. But they're also skateboarding and they're rollerblading and they're biking and they're all over the neighborhood. And on the streets, this causes a safety concern because we don't actually have that many quiet cul-de-sacs in our neighborhood. And we do have a multi-generational population, so we've got a safety concern. So when they're not on the streets, where are they? They're on school property. And when they're on school property, they are not supposed to be there. It's very clearly stated that they're not allowed there. So what are we doing? We're creating an entire generation of rule breakers when they go on the school property to avoid being on the streets. At the same time, we have 2 empty hockey rinks. They're great in the winter, but for 7 months of the year, they sit empty and they're paved. So we have this great space and we have kids in need of a space. Let's bring them together. So the Haysboro Scoot Park Mural project proposes to paint the surface of the hockey rinks. What we'll do is on one rink, we'll have a Haysboro streetscape, and on the other rink, we'll have a family crest project. We will bring in a local artist, and their leadership will have families create and then paint the family crests on the asphalt surface. And this is a really, really simple project, but with great benefits. For one, it's going to allow the rinks to be utilized year-round now, instead of sitting idle or only having someone train their dogs in there. Number 2, it increases the longevity of the ice surface in the winter by not having a black surface absorbing all of the heat. So our rink rats are quite excited about the project. Number 3, it provides stewardship and opportunity for the community. If the community is involved in painting the surface, those kids that are now scooting on school property will have a real pride of ownership over this space on the hockey rinks. And finally, it provides a really safe place for these kids to learn and play there. Now, I want to be clear here, we're not trying to compete with any city-planned skate parks. We know there's a huge proposal underway for that. This is more of an intro-level place because what we hope to do eventually is bring in portable obstacles so that the kids can have access to do the ramps and the rails and do tricks and all the fun stuff that they're doing on the street and on the curbs and on the stairs at the school, and they can do this in this safe community space. We think we're on the edge of something really big here, not just for our community, but for showing that this opportunity exists for rinks around the city.
So we're an enthusiastic group of residents working to bring this project to life. We're promoting the project through all our community resources, 7 schools in our district, networks of friends and neighbors, and through the celebration of the longest day of play, which we have a parade, music festival, food trucks, and demos of these portable scoot obstacles. And so, just to be clear, we're committed to getting this project done. We see this project as a foundation for the work of revitalizing Haysboro's playgrounds and community spaces. Because creating good community spaces builds friendships and is a nurturing environment for our kids. And it builds social networks, support networks for all our residents. So what we're doing here is we're bringing in more love. So with love, you can help us make Haysboro an excellent place to play.